There's a star out there that is older than the universe. Not really old, not almost as old as everything, but older than everything. It looks like a star that existed before time itself. Scientists found it, they checked the math, they checked it again, and for years, nobody could figure out how a star could be born before the universe made it. This is the story of the star that broke science. Sort of. Way out there, 190 light years from Earth, sits a small, boring looking star called HD 140283. If you saw it sitting in the sky, you wouldn't notice it at all. But this star is missing something almost every other star has: heavy stuff. Things like iron, gold, oxygen, anything heavier than the two simplest ingredients in the universe, hydrogen and helium. Most stars, including our sun, are full of that heavier material because they were built out of the leftovers of stars that lived and died first. This star barely has any of that, which means it had to form very early, back before the universe had time to make such heavy stuff at all. So scientists asked the obvious question: just how old is this thing? Back in the year 2000, scientists used a space telescope to measure the star's age. Here's the basic idea. In simple terms, they figured out how bright the star really was compared to how bright it looks from here. This roughly tells you how old it is. And the answer came back 16 billion years old. But here's the problem. Scientists believe the entire universe, all of space, all of time, everything, is about 13.8 billion years old. So either one of science's most solid ideas, the Big Bang, was wrong, or this one little star is somehow older than time itself. So they gave it a nickname, Methuselah, after a guy in an old story who supposedly lived until he was 969 years old. Seemed fitting for a star that on paper was older than everything. This wasn't a joke or a mistake by some random person. Real scientists published this. Real telescopes measured it, and that's exactly why it was such a big deal. When a measurement seems to break the rules of the universe, scientists don't just throw out the rules. They go back and check the measurements. So, starting around 2010, a scientist named Howard Bond and his team grabbed years of pictures from the Hubble Space Telescope, taken between 2003 and 2011, all pointed at this one star. They were trying to nail down exactly how far away this star is, using a trick called parallax. Here's the easy version. Hold your finger up, close one eye, then switch eyes. Your finger seems to jump a little bit. Things that are closer jump more, things that are farther away barely move at all. Scientists use this same trick with stars, using the fact that the Earth moves around the sun. By measuring how much the star jumps over a year, they can work out exactly how far away it is. Turns out, the original distance guess back in 2000 wasn't quite accurate enough. And distance matters a lot here. Get the distance wrong, and you get the star's true brightness wrong. And if you get the brightness wrong, the age you calculate is wrong too. They also looked at something happening deep inside the star. Helium slowly sinking towards its center over billions of years. If you don't account for that, you miscalculate how much fuel the star has burned through, which throws off age estimates even more. So, better distance, better understanding of what's happening inside the star, two fixes, one very new answer. The new and improved number, 14.46 billion years old. Better, but technically still older than the universe, just by a smaller gap. About 600 million years too old instead of over 2 billion. But here's the part that actually solves the mystery. Every scientific measurement comes with a margin of error, basically a give or take number. And this measurement's margin of error was plus or minus 800 million years. Once you apply that wiggle room, the star's true age could be as low as 13.7 billion years old, which is younger than the universe. Mystery solved. A follow-up study a couple years later moved the number down again to 14.27 billion years. Comfortably old, but not impossible. The universe wasn't broken. The very first measurement just wasn't precise enough. Even with the mystery solved, this star is still incredibly special. It's one of the oldest stars we've ever found with a reliably measured age. It likely formed within the first few 100 million years after the Big Bang, back when the universe looked nothing like it does now. And remember how it's almost completely missing heavy elements like iron and oxygen? Every single atom of those things in your body right now was made inside a star that lived and died long before our sun even existed. This star came from a generation before that, one of the very first stars ever made, and it's still burning right now, 190 light years away. It's not older than the universe, but it's about as close to the beginning of everything as we can actually see.